Well, good evening, everyone, on this dark but not stormy night. My name is Richard Waring, and I've been running this PoemWorks series for quite a long time, and it's a joy to be with you tonight. We have two wonderful features, but before I introduce them, I want to share a few thoughts. The poet Matthew Thornburn says, "A poem is a way of stepping into the same river twice." I like that a lot. I affirm that quote. Adrian Rich writes that poetry asks of us a grace in what we bear. I like that too. This is kind of fun. Shakespeare is known for coining new phrases, and heard of some of them in a viewing of Hamlet recently, including a fool's paradise, a sorry sight, dead as a doornail, Greek to me, come what may, eaten out of house and home, forever and a day, heart's content, sleep a wink, love is blind, night owl, wild goose chase, and into thin air. Yet a high schooler recently lamented that he didn't like Shakespeare's plays because they were too riddled with cliches. And lastly, Louise Gluck says, writing is a kind of revenge against circumstances, bad luck, loss, pain. If you make something out of it, then you no longer are bested by these events.
Yeah,
And isn't that a
yeah,
motivation behind a
yeah.
lot of our writing to
Mhm.
somehow exorcise the demons? Well, I'm very pleased to introduce Pamela Gemme, who is a poet and artist. Recent or forthcoming publications of hers include the American Journal of Poetry, Haiku Journal, the Chicago Quarterly Review, Nantucket River Review, J Journal, and So Flow Pojo. That's for Southern Florida Poetry Journal. Pam works privately with poets to write their trauma and runs workshops locally. She co-leads a reading series in Needham, Massachusetts, with poet Monty Iyer. Her manuscript, Making My Madonna, received honorable mention in the 2025 Slate Roof Press Contest. Pam co-edited Essential Voices, a COVID-19 anthology from West Virginia University Press, released in May of 2023. She's on the editorial board at the Worcester Review. Pam is an ambassador of the National Baseball Poetry Festival in Worcester. Her chapbook, Making My Madonna, is forthcoming from Finishing Line Press. Please help me welcome Pam.
Thank you. So I'm going to read some work from a few years ago that I've been working on. This is not recent work. And it's about my ancestry and what I discovered researching it over the years. So off and on, I do a little research and then I do a little writing. But it's not a complete series, so bear with me. This is called Runaway. Virginia, 1831. Nanetka is ripped from kin, lashed and sold on a brown gray stone as if she was slated for a sable grave. Rain pelted down on a nameless plantation. Enslaved, raped, she never wavered the blessing of a brave escape. 17 years old, she exclaimed in Igbo, Amara Chineke, pleased, God's grace. No refrain in the king's language that betrayed her. She runs in ragged clothes, unsung, insurgent, sacrifice in her looming womb, bruised into perpetuity. She shoulders the sanctioned sky, stars dim out. She steals away for a bright impossible sunrise. In sequestered silence, one heirloom howl bonds sound to song in bolts from her soul. Mile upon mile, amid a forest of thicketed thorns, she is Alpha.
Mm.
So I call this matrilineal poem number 2 for now.
Mhm.
1848, Rosa de Lima Carpenter. Her spirit traffics the wind's backlash along the resistance of the river bend. She's the merle in the bramble, her hackles up in the brush, her shackled sovereignty in wrapped black swagger. She spits out the chaw. In ferocious chaos, she hollers to burnish justice. O daughter, march in the sun's promise, even when it delivers shivers upon your flesh. And this is Alice de Lima Carpenter, 1873. Dietitian, maker of medicine, family legend has it, she cured asthma. She'd conjure up a poultice of spring lightning in a privileged repetition, high yellow frills that looked like mixed daffodils in the piece of bindweed and bloodroot, yelled up as hedgerows blanch into borders, grime and mire, each equal parts smoke in a black wolf gyre.
Mm.
This is called Migration. A foremother stealth, like the she-wolf roams out across the Sahara into Persia, storms, washed detritus from Tamarisk, Cyprus, caverns bayed trade routes of the Caucasus. Her birth stream is a traveling show. Bred for turnabout in a burning meadow, she discovers lies, tips, secrets. She hankers to proclaim that her aim is fair game. Born at the hour of dawn, headed east, come drums, the rhythm, black water seeps. She marches the sun-soaked lands before God. Decades of undocumented sin, fraught with blood, her anguish, her joy, shining and intact, familiar bones of history, no way back.
Mm.
So now I'm in the Western Hemisphere. um, Across from Grand Mare's seafood shack, waiting the rocky shore.
Mm.
You spy a bioluminescent blossom, a jellified nebulae, ancestral bell, part Medusa, part umbrella, in the sea's cerulean ease. Moonlight muscle of her, placenta-like, stirs and puffs clouds of sand. She propels tendrils, assaults you in the thigh, stuns you. She's lethal. You dance in pain, you spiral. Your thigh burns the color of sunset. How rugged hunger fills her while she halos, swaying veiled lace, almost invisible, always famished. One sentient being she myths into a bigger life. Call her ancient, call her no bones to nourish, call her wild descent, maternal well of breath, immortal rhythmic, she drops into polyps on the sea floor. And this is for my mother, Eleanor Constance Knight, 1931 to 2015. I imagine her in Aurora Australis, snowlit, singing vespers, passing from Earth's servant like a sharp black piano key's thrum reverberates. Her mother's ring, a bottle of taboo perfume, and her hymnal left where she placed them to rest near the porcelain dish that depicts wolves riffling in a pitch dark forest. Self-portrait as Blue Lobster.
Hmm.
I scuttle wreckage through sea level swells. Father says, that is not my black shell. Mother tells him the color doesn't matter. I can pretend my color isn't radical. By the looks of me, I am sky, I am sea. I wonder if God played a trick on me. Curse of my birth, I'm always in a flux. I can't disappear in the mordant muck. I tread on what's left of the continental shelf. My segregated body is my stigmata self. Through my wild moat, my pincers enlist sea stars, mussels, urchins beneath the surface. Not every being needs legit limbs for service. Nothing breaks me. I'm unbroken blueness. And finally, this is in my book that's coming out. It's called A Name for Our Baby.
Hmm.
The nurse asks me, is she Filipino, Mexican, Indian? Is her father from Spain? I don't explain. Her dad's name is Angel, pronounced Angel in Spanish. People call him Willie. It sounds American. He worked coffee and sugarcane plantations on the little isle of Puerto Rico before his emigration to work the farms here on the U.S. mainland. He calls me Pammy, Pa me. He says because it sounds Spanish. Willie and I decide on the name Naomi Elena because it is spoken in both languages. He pronounces it differently in Spanish, Naomi Elena. Under race, the nurse wants to write mixed on my daughter's birth certificate. I say she isn't mixed. She isn't a cake. She's our baby. Thank you.
Hmm. Gorgeous.
Mm.
Wow. Wow.
Thank you very much.
Wow. That was great, Pam.
Thank you.
Your mother's last name was Knight? Is that with a K?
Yes,
Wow. Wow. Awesome. And you probably knew that Sartre was uh, plagued or haunted by the thought that lobsters were chasing him.
I did not know that.
Yeah, you might want to check out
I'll
that.
look that up. That's cool.
Your lobster poem is amazing. I loved it.
Thank you.
Pam, you may know this famous prayer of Robert Frost. Dear God, I'll forgive, if you forgive my little tricks on thee, I'll forgive your great big one on me.
Very
Love
good.
it.
Wow.
It's not Shakespeare, but it's ours. It's
Yeah,
us.
That's it.
absolutely. Go America. I want to mention that next month, on March 6th, First Friday, is Heather Nelson and Carrie Loftman. Looking forward
Yay.
to that. Yeah. Up next, we have Gray Held, who is a poet, visual artist, and literary activist whose work bridges language, art, and public space. He received an NEA Arts Fellowship in Creative Writing and won the 2019 Future Cycle Poetry Book Prize. Gray is the author of three poetry collections: Two Star General, Brick Road Poetry Press, 2012, Spilled Milk, WordPress, 2013, and Workaday, Future Cycle Press, 2019. Gray holds a BS from MIT and an MFA from Tyler School of Art at Temple University. His interdisciplinary background informs a practice that moves fluidly between page, gallery, and street. An advocate for poetry in public life, he has received 7 Mass Council Cultural Council Local Cultural Council grants for projects connecting contemporary poets with wider audiences. His leadership helped secure a Mass Development Commonwealth Places grant for Make Poetry Concrete an ongoing initiative that embeds dozens of poems into sidewalks in Newton's village centers, setting poetry into the daily path of citizens. Gray serves on the boards of the Newton Art Association and Spark Newton. He teaches a weekly Zoom-based poetry workshop, Poetry Roundtable, and works one-on-one with poets to help sharpen their craft. He has taught painting and drawing at Temple University and Ohio State University and exhibited his work at the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts, Provincetown Art Museum, and numerous galleries nationwide. He collaborates with his wife, Leslie, to create large-scale public art installations throughout Newton, on doors, Jersey barriers, electrical boxes, and building facades. Gray's newest initiative is an integrated practice that fuses poetry and visual art into a single immersive experience. Check out his new e-commerce website, www.picturepoem.art, scheduled to launch in March of this year. Follow him at www.grayheld.com. Please welcome Gray.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So I'll start with the poem called An Exercise for Kids at Our Local Detention Center. First, choose the palette for drawing on blank newsprint. Desert brown crayon, plain old black, the beige that used to be called flesh. Start with the head, circle or no circle. Then arms, wide open or sidelined down. Tell them the flare of hair is optional. Tell them make the eyes like two doors slightly open. Note to self, learn to say have fun in Spanish. Divierte, amigo. If Carlos starts to cry, comfort him. Do not mention his mother who's in another detention center. Have Jesus help his little brother who's only got one arm. Tell them the way to unlearn fear is undocumented. Remind them the sky is not nothing. Remind them that if all the mango tango crayon is gone, any color at all can conjure up the sun. Object lesson leaf blower. Demonstration day 4. My neighbor's oldest son, Sergeant Marco Alexander, billy clubbed and attired in camo, combat boots, a respirator's full-face regalia, tear gases on command, protesters brandishing placards, chanting slogans of the moment, shrill voices like raked tines scraping urban asphalt. This toxic vapor makes free speech gag, and those who've come toting leaf blowers rev them up, gusting tear gas back at anonymous troopers. Sergeant Marco finds himself conjuring up his dad, leaf sweeping with hefty puffs of engined air, culling into piles the season's colorful casualties. The sycamores, brown tan cast-offs, the maples, red-stained hands, making them come alive, frolic into do-si-dos and somersaults over power lines, then aiming that gas-powered contraption, chasing little Marco's lawful laughter all around the yard. Maybe some of you have had this feeling at the airport as well. Object lesson, the revolving. Like that, this feeling of being at Logan Terminal C's baggage carousel. A dark perplexity of such dirt and stain-repellent lookalikes, fraught with a question of who's who and what's what, and mistaking what's your bulging luggage from a similar someone else's. Impatient gazes towards where the next unruly round of the unloaded make their noisy debut through the thick black vinyl flaps of the draft curtain. That kind of anticipation, That kind of impatience, that kind of crowd dispersing one by one and two by two with their personal belongings until it's you and only you and the metal armadillo plates on the moving oval belt gone dumbstruck. Lost Horizons used bookstore in Boston. I don't mind broken bindings, stitches loosened on a tired spine, dog-eared pages, comments and wispy penmanship sprawled along the margins, entire stanzas asterisked. I've got a soft spot for decommissioned library books, Randolph-Macon College, blue-black rubber stamped on the inside back. My wife loves musty murder mysteries, dust on the upside strip of pulp, crimes languishing in the hidden beauty of their clues, bespectacled detectives, some with easy egress to youthful dreams that on aging shoulders smolder. I'm standing on a step stool, poking through poetry on the top shelf, where a real-life spider web links a pocket-sized rubaiyat to a chandelier that's missing prisms. Some flying thing enraptured in that silken hammock, swaying by the grace of ceiling fans that spin their memoirs out of air. Self-portrait humbled. I was stumbling through the super Stop and Shop parking lot, seeking my lost car with the bum left headlight, nasty scratch on the passenger door, and superficial damage on the bumper from when I backed up without forethought against a hydrant. I'm loath to hit the red button on my key fob, make the horn shout, "You idiot!" So I put down my grocery bag, close my eyes, lower myself by rope into the rote moves I gave the steering wheel, hoping some tinge of muscle memory might give a hint as to which asphalt aisle to beg for mercy. Landscape hubris. Much of America belongs to weeds and vines that ravage abandoned barnyards, shimmy up creosoted posts, blister through cracks in bricks. Some weeds wear skirts of briars, others thrash our skin with rash, but Virginia creeper isn't sinful in that way, though it is invasive. So I stab a shovel into the stubborn crux of roots until the pith splits. I think I'm done, that's that, but 2 weeks and 2 friends' funerals later, it's back. I'm feeling low, overwhelmed, and lack the wherewithal to dig that creeper out again. So I try herbicides to quell its rampant spread through flower beds. In the end, it all proves futile. What the hell, I said to my wife, as I decided to train invasiveness to the level-headed trellis I'd nail to the fence at the very edge of our teeny piece of earth we dare to call our own. Lord, just give me one more spring. To enter the backyard tool shed's faint dark, take in the rich, rank smells of mulch, the effusive fumes from the tank I tilt to fill the mower's throat. Let me breathe life back into flat tires on my wintered over bike, anoint the chain's stiff links with oil. I promise to gorge myself on chores, fix the spigot's drip, patch sidewalk cracks, replace the split picket on the rickety fence, tighten the loose lip of the brass latch, scrub the musty beach chair webbing, fill holes dug by snakes and moles in the curved berm. Let the crows come back, hawking their caw, caw, caw on power lines. Let tribes of tiny ants line up troops by the driveway. Let maple pollen wallow over my windshield. I'll take it all.
Hmm.
From assisted living via ambulance to St. Mary's. In the first floor hospital chapel, you can give a dime, a quarter, or whatever to light a candle that may last an hour or two at best, while physicians, radiologists, and interns in purple scrubs walk by. Then you can take the elevator to the fourth floor, sit in a tiny room, a hard chaired affair, designed for the hard conversations with the kind of doctor who brokers final bargains down to one. My brother and I are prepped to make the deal, but my sister isn't. So as the dim sconce flickers, Dr. Sankar takes my sister's hands in his antiseptic hands, practiced in aiding and abetting acceptance of the inevitable. I don't hear what he says to her because I'm distracted by my artificially sweetened Coke, surrendering slowly, going flat, lifeless, but still conforming to the bodily shape of the paper cup that holds it. As my chest rises and falls with each breath, I think about angels and feel a tightness in my back where my wings would be.
Hmm. Hmm.
Changing the light bulb. Some siren song of come hither has lured winter moths through minuscule entrances in our bedroom window screen, veered them to their fatal capsize on the frosted glass ceiling fixture that has at its tip a little brass finial I'm teetering on a step stool to unscrew. Drip dropped into wattage they cook inside light, glittering wing dust like pale pollen there. Almost planetary, their talent for revolving around anything brilliant. Sometimes I wonder if what I consider brilliant is just the go-to narrative strategy I'm familiar with and attracted to. So many theologies of light, incandescent, photochemical, fluorescent, and what's inside of us. Sitting on my sister's porch the day before Mom dies. Inches from the leaf-strewn, slumbering rubber doormat, a small golden-brown toad, calm, squat, goddess of leap and swiftness, little Buddha whose oversized eyes a child could love. Why aren't you moving? Have you lost your lunge? I nudge the toad's knobby back with my thumb, hoping its hinged hip will twitch into flawless vaulting. I goad that toad again. Giddy up, I say. It doesn't budge. A landscape revisiting La Quarry dump. This was a dump behind my backyard. It was my favorite place to play as a kid. There's nothing makes me so aware of the improvisation of human existence than that dump, whose potholed access road I used to travel down, as I do today, to savor perhaps for the final time my favorite forbidden to go there by my mother playground as a kid. It was my sanctuary, brimming with a glut of stuff that taught me something about the quiet defiance of abandoned appliances, about the worthiness of a back-flopped fridge, door off, water pooling stagnant in its enamel belly, perfect for hosting squiggly midges until they morphed into adults and flew away. A bounty of smaller wreckage, too, toppled chairs, their wobbly legs tipped with little metal skid buttons glinting like nickels. Car batteries, plus minus poles of doltish voltage. A rain-slicked wheelbarrow wallop on its back. Haggard mattresses, quilting, ripped, springs sprung free. I pick up a rock, toss it at a corrugated sheet from a tin shack roof like I used to do, just to make those guts percuss again. That emphatic thwack somehow still gets to me.
Hmm.
Object lesson, Kodachrome. Whose childhood is this in this little rectangle over the chair? Charles Wright. Dad snapped us by the poolside. Perhaps he had a hunch this happy, splashing, shallow-ended artifact might be crucial in the future when nothing clicked. That I could savor this sun-posed moment, so unlike that other photo. Our grinning sinews become marionette strings to the standard etiquette of hold your breath and look toward the professional photographer's slew of muted lights and the silver-tongued reflectors that say cheese. No. In this candid photo, smiles are authentic. Mom so young, so Botticelli beautiful. The fringed umbrellas flap their scallops in her direction to complement her perfect swan dive of a smile, while I sit atop her shoulders, my legs straddling her neck, feet dangled down, my red swimsuit, my blonde bangs mom cropped equators straight. Now I'm twice the age mom's captured at. She could be a child of mine, a child I could love wholeheartedly, despite anything that child could ever say or do, despite anything.
Hmm.
Thank you very much.
Hmm.
Mm.
Wow, that was great. Thank you so much, Gray. I
Yeah.
could almost understand your poems just by the tone of voice. It's like on Sunday when we hear Bad Bunny in Spanish. We'll probably understand what he's trying to convey. No, that was really a great reading. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you very much.
And now let's hear from some others of us in the room. I'd like to start out with Margie Flanders.
Um, as usual, I don't know if you can see me. Can you see me? Um,
And I can't seem to add you to the screen.
oh, let's see. Oh dear. Oh, as usual, I think you're going to have to carry on without me.
Well, how about sharing your poem and we'll all listen?
Okay. Okay, I will do that. And actually, this is okay because I cracked a tooth, so
Oh,
you won't have to look at that.
sounds perfect.
um, this is a poem I wrote recently, and I didn't think it was controversial, but I've since become aware that there is a certain controversy here.
Hmm.
It's called The Monk's Walk for Peace.
Hmm.
The monks walk for peace, and I walk the path I have carved out of the snow to the studio. I light candles. The monks walk for peace and bless the ones who come out to see them, saying, "May you have a peaceful day." I play a drum, dance, sing, as is my tradition on February 1st. The monks walk in a line, and I am grieving citizens killed, children snatched roughly from their homes. What chance is there in this world for peace? But the monks walk, and I light candles.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Well done.
Mm,
Thank you, Margie.
You're welcome. And I have to say, two such amazing batches of poems preceded my little offering. Gray and Pam are just the best.
Thank you. Thank you. And now here is David Miller.
All righty. And I agree. Thank you, Gray and Pam, both. I'm very happy to hear you both this evening. So here we are. Souvenir. Imagine yourself a foreigner in a land that doesn't intend to shed your blood. Twilight in Copenhagen, Tivoli Gardens illuminated with music rioting from a Commedia dell'arte show playing a long run of 2 centuries. It's canned, the stage action's tuneful wallpaper, but for once, you're not annoyed. Sky darkens as light intensifies from thousands of strung bulbs defining the night. The shift is imperceptible. You've never before lived this specific beauty. You want to believe your skin tone turns to mist, your surname nothing more than a melody, here among the sweets of Cakenhagen, the garden's patisserie. You want to trust it's not only the naivete of an American briefly flown to Denmark that lets you swing in a circle 80 meters in the air without fear. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Please welcome Margot Wizansky.
Hi, everyone. Gray and Pam, that was absolutely beautiful. Just gorgeous. I may have read this poem before. I can't remember, and I don't keep a record of it, which I should. But even if I did read it before, I think it's relevant.
Mm-hmm.
It's called What Does It Matter? In our infinitesimal breath, in the whole of time, in the ongoing, if I still bother to snap off the geranium's dying leaves and prune and water, and they winter through to bloom again. If the scuttle of autumn fades golden to brown, winter strips its color, and spring lifts yellow-green heads. If the harvested rose in the proud field climb over the rise, lie fallow in strange beauty, and replenished by resting, grow another crop. If growth in the mutant swamp is neon green, unfamiliar, and the new plants settle and find their place. If what's sacred to me has no face or voice or name in a holy book, and for you, the sacred is the man and the book. In small ways, we go on. Still, jacked up rainstorms plunge villages into the ocean. Vast swaths of refugees move across barren deserts in search of a livable place. Crimes against children and their parents go unchecked, though we look in horror. Plastic garbage in the Pacific has grown 3 times the size of France. And I sit before you, grateful for the rest of you, exposed in our despair. Can anything save us except the old abstractions, morality, courage, kindness, beauty, and love? Not save us exactly, just make more bearable whatever we have left.
So great, Margot. Loved hearing it and want to hear it again and again.
Thank you.
Now here is Robbie Gamble.
Hello. Pam and Gray, that's beautiful poems. Thank you so much. So my mother died about 3 weeks ago, and this is a brand new piece. It's called Hospice. January, a month for dying. Her mouth slack and still as a snowdrift. And they say there is no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing, say a damp pastel Johnny riding up at the armpits, the linger of a last fever dream, say it was the rising fifth of a white-throated sparrow dirging into her never summer.
Absolutely heartbreaking. Thank you, Robbie. Here is Carol Hobbs.
I better unmute. Wow, Robbie, I'm so sorry about your mom's passing. And Margot, those poems, that poem was amazing to think of the distractions and how wonderful those are. Thank you so much. And Pam and Gray, just heartbreakingly beautiful. Thank you for reading tonight. I'm going to read a poem about cold. This one's called Exposure. They say when you become cold enough, your body pretends it has slipped into your mother's bed, and you are looking anew at the slatted wood ceiling. The curtains wave like exotic finches, bright yellow apparitions you do not fear. They wing through the lilacs of the wallpaper. You dream of the beginning of things and the race to be four-legged and velvety and master of every season, the days retreating beyond all saving grace. Your mouth opens without words, a hollow hinge. Your skin forgets it is cold, and you are happy again. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Wow. So beautiful. Please welcome Jonathan Aibel.
Wow, these are hard acts to follow. What a great night. Thank you, everyone. But Gray and Pam, those are amazing. And what I have here is a poem called What I Have for You. From grocery store produce coolers looking for the beet, red, golden beets, soybean, acres of yellow canola, iceberg lettuce of America lost in the aisles, carrot orange, purple carrot, purple potatoes, white cabbage, red pepper, green cucumbers, the lost faces of shoppers. What is the price of living with a dozen eggs more and more dear? despite politicians fulminating, the flood of foods, ample hills of apples, veils of tomatoes bred for trucking, talking heads of a nation explain why it swings into the wind, tacking port, starboard. Why? What do we seek? Smell, hope to rise, a bottle of milk and a loaf.
Yes. Good inquiry. Thank you, Jonathan.
Love your cat.
Please welcome Ruth Hoberman.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for the wonderful, wonderful poems. I'm going to read a poem that just ran in Michael Broder's Substack. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but he runs a poem every day opposing the current administration. This is called January 7th, 2026. And when I mention someone named Carrie, it is in fact Carrie Loftman. I'm trying to make her famous in my small way. And this poem is after W.H. Auden, September 1st, 1939. January 7th, 2026. I sit in a coffee shop on Harvard Street, astonished and afraid, as our country unmakes itself, replaying old cruelties, monetizing every hallowed earthly thing, turning bones to oil. Feverish graphs brag of tanks, drones, and jutting chins, determined hairlines, and prodigious squats. But we know what's hallowed and what's not, as we sit at a tiny table amid a tangle of winter coats, the coffee-laden air humming with talk about poetry and Vilnius, Jenny's just been, where Nazis dug up Jewish gravestones to build walls. We talk and our human lives rise. Carrie's hips, my dog, that woman in pink fur, like overheard sonatas, intricate, frail, ungraspable as stained glass or dragonflies. While in Minneapolis, stupor shoots its terrified gun, and another symphony's gone. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you, Ruth. We need poets of resilience and resistance and hope. Thank you so much. Please welcome Carmen Pont.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you to all of you. I am so happy to be here. These months have been extremely difficult, and I'm glad that I'm not alone. So this short poem is called Countries. Countries. Certain countries nest in our inner territories and become a homeland to our unspoken thoughts. Some countries hold their mirror, their lakes, oceans, and rivers, and sing, resembling us. Others migrate through the landscapes of our voice and hold no accent to declare at the borders of our tongue. Thank you.
Thank you, Carmen.
Thank you.
Please welcome Wendy Drexler.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Very wonderful readings. Thank you to everyone, really. And Pam and Gray, I'm just especially struck by the way you both use sound, the slant rhyme and rhyme and and meter in Pam's, and just really very deeply satisfying. Well, I am reading from my brand new book, which just came actually yesterday, Harvest of What Remains. So this is the very first reading. This poem was actually featured today on Steve Rettiner's Red Letter Poems, if you get that, in which case you'll be hearing it again. I was just so moved by what he wrote about it, and I hope I can get through it. This is called In the Kitchen. I know what you're looking for, standing there, holding the orange juice carton in your hand. I see, crossed out, watch. You open the cabinet that holds coffee mugs, then turn, pondering, in the center of the kitchen. I'm on watch here, a watchwoman, pacing the figurative ramparts, watching and wanting to insert a little carrot of ease into the sinkhole of your hesitation. The glasses are over there, in the cabinet to the right of the sink, I say, shrinking my voice to the size of a seed, so my tone will seem anecdotal, incidental, non-directive, inflected with an orchard of kindness. This time, my words go down smoothly. You thank me, walk to the right cabinet, take out a glass. You pour your juice, and I stand there, watching you do what you still can. Thank you.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you.
It is tough work. Really is. Here now is Kathy Whitham.
Hey everyone. I just want to echo my appreciation for both Gray and Pam, each of them stunning in their own unique way. Right. This is called The Bronze Child Crouches Gazing at a Song Sparrow. You crouch on a patient lump of unformed clay in the middle of the pink marble bird bath, forever cushioned by moat and flow. Your every contour was caressed into soft roundness, barely beginning to lengthen into boyhood, always on the cusp of longing and letting go. From your pixie-haired crown down around your back and seat, a semicircle completes along the sole of your left foot. Effortless, supple, you sit on that heel, your toes a kickstand, your right knee tucked toward your chin, like when your home was water a moment ago. Your arm, a branch curving upward, encircles your gaze. Your hand, a tiny nest, cradles a song sparrow, the object of your unruffled contemplation. After Boy and Bird Fountain by Baksha Paved, Boston Garden, Massachusetts.
Wow. Thank you, Kathy. Steve, do you have a poem?
I have I have 3 lines.
Excellent.
Which is, it's a haikoid. Earnestly we write our best poems, but around us the world darkens.
Wow. You used every word effectively. And our penultimate poet is Thrassos Calligas.
Hi. Thanks to everybody for reading. And I'm in Oregon to see a grandchild, and I was thinking that seeing a baby and listening to some of those poems, especially the political ones, is one way to cope. with what's going on around us. This poem is called The Grape Press. At the end of the summer in Ithaca, at my grandfather's house, we would wash our feet of dust and dirt. My sisters and I would jump into the metal tub filled with freshly picked grapes. We would march, high step. It would turn into a dance, not trance, but mystical, and we laughed as the grapes burst between our toes with a perfect plop, 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 and squish and squirt and suck and sink. We could smell, taste it. Then the color would darken from pink to red like blood, the grape skin opaque. And our legs tired, and we ran into each other and stopped, our feet stained wine red for days.
Fantastic. Thank you, Thrassos.
Thank you.
Well, being in a mind of wine, I'll close things out with a poem written at the Museum of Fine Arts with some of my poet colleagues, including Wendy Drexler. This is called Adam and Eve. As far as I can tell, they were thrown out of Eden only once, while I've been thrown out more times than I can count. First from the amniotic Eden, something that never happened to them. Then from childhood, an anguish they never experienced. I lost a few family homes and marital beds. How can they be blamed for raising brooding boys when they were never kids? The rivalry, like any blood sport, was another kind of banishment. No early memories to recreate for their young. The ways of parenting were unknown, only aftermath and lost replacement. Only their sons' navels to contemplate. Before all the rest, flawed, mortally immortal, imperfect human, that the humus was made of them, they did their best. Well, what a great evening tonight. I always feel as if I've had some kind of heart surgery at events like this. There's something heart healthy about gathering as we do to share
Yes.
our innermost thoughts and heartfelt feelings. So thank you all so much. Anyone want to pose any last thoughts or comments? Feel free to do that now.
Just to say thank you again, Richard, and everyone. Yeah. Yeah.
Should we all give a round of applause?
We should.
Yeah,
Yes.
we-
Idea.
Yes.
Yeah. Yay.
That was your line, Richard.
I'm happy for you to ventriloquize.
Right.